Hey, what's up, guys? This is King J coming to you live from hell. So, this is a new series that I'm going to start. I've never really done YouTube before. It's always been a goal, but then again, I have a long list of goals that I have yet to even begin to start, and that's sort of why I'm doing this whole video. I'm thinking about all the shit that I need to do, everything that I feel is holding me back, and all the excuses that I have. And I start, having all this anxiety, and I start thinking negatively. And I just came to this realization, what am I going to wait for? Am I going to wait for life to just, eventually get to this place where I'm like, oh, you know what? Today I feel great. Today I feel like is the day that I'm going to do everything. But it hasn't come, and honestly, I've been in this sort of mental space for years already, and that's why I have this whole concept of I'm live from hell, because I'm going through hell mentally, but I've always said, it's not really that bad, and it might not even seem that bad, but when it comes down to getting things done that I really feel like I could do, a lot of things, music and animation have always been, a passion of mine, but I haven't really had the same passion because of little things get in the way, and then it makes me feel like, what's the point? Nobody's going to listen to it. Nobody's going to care about it, this or that or this and the other. And I started to realize, okay, well then who am I doing it for? Am I doing it for attention? Or am I doing it for me, for some sort of personal growth? It used to be personal growth, but I guess I sort of got out of that idea that, I'm not actually growing. I'm not really gaining anything. I'm just sort of living. I'm just sort of coasting through life. And then it hit me. Why don't I just talk? Because if there's one thing I like to do, I like to talk. And I don't mind hearing myself back. So let's say this is a YouTube video and it has 0 views. I can listen to it. Maybe in a month, I'll come back and listen to this, and it might inspire me to like, hey, you know what? If I didn't make another video after this, you should go make another video. Just for myself as a personal diary. But it's going to go out to the world, and everyone's going to hear it. If they do, So if you're listening to this and you've lasted 2 minutes and 33 seconds exactly, hey, thanks. Thanks for being in the particular moment where you actually found this in a YouTube where, there's millions of videos every day being posted, and they have an algorithm that really doesn't support new things. But I'm not going to let that really get in the way of me sort of making something. I was an art student. I loved making art. I love painting, but I just haven't had the drive, the passion, the ambition to pretty much do anything. I've just been stuck in this sort of zone of nothing I do is ever going to be good enough, and everyone's going to think I'm a loser. And I had this potential, and I laid it to rest. It really didn't matter in the end, but I'm really not going to let that define me anymore. And that's really what I want to talk about. Overcoming anxiety. What is anxiety? It's this feeling, this dread, there's this something inside you that is saying something's wrong. Sometimes it's your body. Your body is literally reacting, saying something is wrong and we might die, fight or flight mechanism. But sometimes it's just this overarching feeling that you're just, things aren't right. Something in your life is not right. And you just sort of go to the everyday comforts, gaming or eating something, that you probably shouldn't be eating, watching porn, jerking off, all kinds of shit. The things that we do, getting on like something like TikTok and scrolling for hours on end. And you get wrapped up in this. You get wrapped up in this idea. And especially the issue with social media is that it makes you feel like everyone's out there doing shit. Everybody out there is living their best life. And in reality, a lot of people are feeling the exact same way. And a lot of times social media only worsens these feelings because, just makes you do things specifically for attention that may not actually be benefiting you or anybody. It's literally just, look at me. Am I pretty enough? Am I cool enough? Am I this enough? And after that effect wears off, it leaves you feeling a little empty, wanting more. So you're constantly just chasing this feeling of admiration from people. And I didn't really want to go off that because, I don't know, I wanted that. I mean, I feel like a lot of people want that. They may not even want to admit that. But I just sort of knew that it would either get to my head or it wouldn't happen. And if I didn't get any attention, I would probably feel like shit. But I'm now starting to realize that it's not about that. It's really never been about that. It's been about a journey, you know? So if you're feeling anxious, you need to realize that you're on a journey. Like, you may get to a point where you feel like, nothing matters, nothing's ever going to happen that I want to happen or this or that. But guess what? Once you've reached that spot where nothing matters, time still keeps going. You still keep growing. You still keep living. And let's say you're a teenager, or you're in college or whatever. You have so much of your life ahead of you. And you like really have no clue, like just how much life you have ahead of you. And yet at that time, it feels like everything needs to happen right now, or I'm not going to matter, or I failed, or this or that, or this or the other. And, for me, my whole idea was, I wanted to make music. I wanted to be a rapper, but there's no old rappers. So if I don't make it before, I'm 25 and I'm already now 26. If I don't make it in that time period, I'm going to be like a clown, like, look at this old rapper. Who cares about this guy? But, it's a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of rappers that are awesome and they're not young. And as a lot of times you come to realize in the rap scene specifically, there's a lot of these kids that come out, they're 17, 18, they come out with a hot hit, they blow up big, but they don't really know how to handle themselves. They don't really know how to control themselves within that lifestyle. And they ended up crashing, and they don't really have they don't have a long lasting career because they don't have the things that they need to keep growing. And specifically the mental state. Nobody tells you. It's so weird. Nobody tells you how to do anything other than what you're taught in school. So if you want to be a YouTuber, you notice that they have cameras and they have microphones and they have all this crap. And then, you want it, but you don't really know what's good stuff. And then you get it and it might suck. It's kind of like when I was little and I wanted to be a skateboarder because I had brothers that were really good at skateboarding, and I wanted to get a new skateboard. So we went to a store, and I picked out this skateboard, but it was rocket power. It was a rocket power skateboard, and let me tell you, it was the worst skateboard a human could ride. And my brother was saying, you should get this one, but I didn't like the design on it, so I didn't get it. And that board was definitely a better quality board. So I had this super slow little skateboard, and I sucked, so I didn't continue skating. And part of me always wanted to be, somebody who skated, but it was that board that was my excuse of I can't do it, so I give up. And I didn't keep doing it. And I always rethink of that as an example of what if I had a different board or this and that. So coming back to the point that I'm talking about, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things in your way, little things. Well, I don't have this yet, and I don't have that yet, and I don't have, and in reality, you need to remember that you don't really need anything. You don't really need stuff. All you need is determination for a specific goal, and through your determination, somehow it's going to happen. So if my goal years ago was, I'm going to make a YouTube video, I'm going to make a YouTube channel and post videos on it, but I never did it. All those excuses led up to this, to me saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to make something. And here we are. So in a way, I've overcome my anxiety about doing something, but it's a journey. So it doesn't end. The obstacles don't go away. The feelings don't go away. That back and forth of, oh, I'm badass and I'm a piece of shit, I don't matter. That could linger depending on your personality type, depending on the issues that you go through. But it's important to remember that you matter, and your accomplishments don't define who you are. They don't define what you stand for and what you mean to other people in your life. So you got to remember what's important, what's important to you. So if you really want to do something, you just got to try your best to do it. And don't worry about failing. And that's the most cliche thing. because I hear it. I'm just like, I hate hearing that. Failure is what's going to take you to success. You learn from your failures and you keep going. And a lot of times we never want to get to that point. We never want to experience rejection. We never want to experience failure. We want to stay sheltered in a little bubble, and we don't want to take any risks because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be a loser. We don't want anything bad to happen ever. But no matter what, bad things happen either way. You could be the most safe driver in the planet, yet a car can come crashing into you. It's a fact of life. You don't want that to happen. And you want to avoid it at all costs. It still happens. So, are you going to live your life never getting in a car? Are you going to live your life never leaving your house? No. I mean, yes, you got to be as safe as you can be, especially when we're in uncertain times. But at the end of the day, you got to try. You got to try because you're never going to know what's going to happen if you don't. And no matter what, the journey is what matters. So don't let anxiety hold you back. Know that it's there for a reason, to scare you or to amplify you. So use it. Use it as a tool to amplify you forward. You're scared of what? What are you scared of? You're scared of failing. So you know what? Face your fear and fail. Fail at something. And then get back up and keep going. And this is what I had to learn is don't set goals that have high expectations for yourself, but don't set goals that are totally out of it. Like, I got to get 10 videos out a day. I got to get or a video out a day. No, have something that is tangible. And I actually saw somebody, I think it was a TikTok actually, say set goals that you can do when you're tired. So when you've had a shitty day and you don't really feel like doing anything, have something that you can look forward to. Something that is part of your goals. Because when you start to see your goals as work, like that was me. I bought this animation program, haven't even touched it because I feel like it's work and I feel like it's going to be such a grind to get used to doing it. And the same thing with this beat machine that I got. Expensive things that I bought thinking, okay, now I have the motivation to do it, but I don't have the motivation to do it. It just sits there and I just think about it and I feel guilty about it. I feel like I'm letting myself down. So instead of that, I'm setting small goals, small goals. And you slowly build up. Rome wasn't built in a day. You think of an athlete. You think they just wake up and say, I'm the fastest runner on the planet today. I don't need to train. I don't need to do anything. I'll just eat whatever I want and I'll just be badass. Some people are badass. Some people have specific things that happen to them that make them able to do things easier, So some people have great opportunities. But for those that don't, you have to compensate. And yeah, it's not fair. A lot of things are not fair. But if you want something, if you want any sort of goal, and you're feeling like you're blocking yourself or you're feeling blocked by anything in your life, don't let that distract you from the point of set goals and tiny steps to achieving them. Every day, don't let yourself forget that it's a journey, So if you heard this, if you were one of the people that saw this, if you liked it, go ahead, leave a like, leave a comment. If you disagree or you feel like there's better ways to approach this than the way that I'm talking about, let me know. I mean, I'm on the journey too, and I'm totally open. I'm feeling like a new person, and it's a good feeling, and I want to keep it going. So I'm going to be doing this often, hopefully, and let's see where it goes. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening.